Hey there YouTube. Today I'm going to show you what to do if your horn on your 2005 plus F-150 is going off by itself. I'm not talking about like your security alarm, like if it's like honk, honk, honk. That's something different. I'm talking about if you're sleeping and all of a sudden you hear just going off constantly. So like when I came out and my horn was just constantly honking, I could come in here and I could just lightly tap this. And it would stop it from honking, just like barely, lightly. So that leads me to believe that it's in the switch and not in anything else. You might have a bad clock spring, so if you're turning the wheel and it honks for no reason, that's probably a clock spring. It's a much more difficult job than this. You gotta go a little deeper, take the steering wheel off. But so this is just if it's honking constantly, you can touch the horn and it turns off. Just a quick note as well, on the fuse box, the horn relay is built into the fuse box, so if your horn relay is bad, then you're screwed. You gotta take the fuse box out and do a lot of work. Thank you, Ford. I think it's caused by the expansion and contraction of the steering wheel rubbing on the airbag housing. For me, it seems to happen when it's been hot and then it gets cold. If you're keeping your neighbors up and you don't care about your horn working, I'll show you how to pull the fuse real quick. It's under the kick panel on the passenger side there. Alright, so this side is the door, this is the front of the truck. The fuse you want is a 20 amp, and a quick way to find it is to look and see the second row of relays here. It's the one directly to the right of the top of this relay. It's a 20. So you'll see it's from bottom to top you have 5, 5, 20, 10, 15. It's the 20. Just to make that easier for you. On the back of the fuse box door, there's a little fuse puller that'll help you out. To take this off is actually pretty easy. You're going to want to unhook the battery for at least an hour. I left it unhooked overnight because I'm not going to play around with this airbag, and this isn't my primary vehicle. So anyway, after you're sure it's safe and discharged, you go ahead and pop these little round covers off here. Inside the hole there's a little 8mm bolt. You don't want to take that out. And the bolt on the other side. Of course my tripod broke while filming this, so I'm going to try to hold the camera. This just pops right off. I don't get an airbag in my face. Alright. It's going to expose all these connectors. So the yellow and black one, just pinch it, it comes out. See if this one's the same. Pinch it. Oh, look at that, it comes right out. That's pretty easy. This harness looks like I'm going to have to stick something under here and pry it up and pull. It's so cold right now, I'm afraid of breaking this too. I'm going to have to put the camera down. Alright, once I put the camera down, it was actually pretty easy. I just pried up in between the female part and the male part there, and it just kind of slid out. So that was easy. In the other video I saw, they made it look a lot more complicated than it was. The airbag module is out, and now I'm going to go in the house because it's cold. Alright, so here's the airbag part number, if anyone cares. I notice that on a lot of the websites I've been seeing, they've been showing horn switches for 2003, and they say that the horn switch in those is in this pad. But on the 2005, I actually believe that the horn switch is this metal thing and this connector and 4 contacts. If you look in here, you see there is a contact there and one there, and spin it around. There's a contact there and also there. Looks like what happens is I believe this is the horn harness here, and these 2 connectors are for the airbag only. I say that because one of these connectors goes to the metal of this bracket, and then the other one goes to this metal assembly that the airbag fits into. And what I think happens is that this switch's circuit is closed when these contacts in here touch each other. See? So what I think is happening with my truck, so when it's getting warm, the steering wheel is expanding, and then when it's cold, it's shrinking, and over time that shrinking and expanding is causing the horn to eventually honk, because I noticed these springs and this bolt that they're on is kind of almost sticky. So once I press it, that one's a bad example. Once I press it, there's a sound, and it almost pops itself closed. It's like very... it's hard to show on camera. Let's see if you can hear the sound here. So there's the switch contact. I'll just apply slight pressure. That was not going to do it. Right there. Like, I almost wonder if I should lubricate this track here, and that might stop it from doing that. Because I think what happens is it's getting pushed, and then it's getting stuck, and it doesn't open itself back up after the whole steering wheel is done flexing. So I'm going to lubricate this with some silicone. I'm going to just slightly spray some silicone, being very careful not to get it in any of the airbag connectors. In fact, I'm going to put some tape over those connectors. There we go. So that clicking noise should stop that you hear. Alright, well, the clicking noise stopped. That's the tape. So now you only hear the noise of the contacts being connected. See? It's just the contacts hitting now instead of them sticking. So while I was doing this, I was thinking of another way you could jury rig this. You can put black electrical tape around this frame here. So basically you just want to keep those contacts from touching each other. And if you did that on like 3 of these 4 contacts, then you could possibly get rid of your honking problem, because it would make it much harder for the horn to honk since you only have 1 point of contact. Just an idea. It also occurs to me that at any time this top metal plate is making continuity with this bottom metal plate, you're gonna have your horn go off. So be sure to check for any pieces of metal or any type of short, like maybe if these springs are bent and touching the metal here. Actually, I guess theoretically if these isolators were worn, that would also cause it to complete the connection. A lot of things to check. But anyway, I'm going to put this back on and see how she goes. Now that it's back in, I do note that it's a little easier to push. You can hear the relay over there clicking. So my hypothesis appears to be correct, that those are the contact points for the horn. Because the same pressure in the middle does not cause it to honk, but on the corners it definitely does. So yeah, if this worked, I won't update the video. If it didn't work, I will put some text all over the video and some stuff in the comments and stuff in the description. You'll know it didn't work. But I'm just going to post this and hope that it helps somebody.